There we go. All right, now we're live. We had a
Hello.
little bit of a glitch there. I don't know what just happened. Hello, everybody. Mark Wylam. What time is it for you in the UK?
It's 5 p.m.
5 p.m. and it's 9 a.m. here on the west coast of the US. I'm just starting my day. You're just finishing your day. But look at us. We're here together on Facebook and chatting, and I'm really excited to hear about what's going on at Sports Pros Connect.
Thank you very much for having me, Lisa. It's really nice of you to ask me, and hope things are doing well with you guys.
Everything's good here, and you and I were talking off camera before we went live, and I know that you and your family are well, maybe a little stressed out with a 6-year-old at home, but otherwise figuring out how to stay safe at home, and so I'm very happy to hear that. But first of all, can you just tell us kind of what the vibe is in the UK right now around tennis and what you're hearing from coaches and players out there?
Well, I'm actually in Ireland, Lisa.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
But I know a lot about the UK as well. My mum's in the UK with my sister as well. So the UK and Ireland are pretty similar, although Ireland moved to the closure way before the UK, and the UK, I heard yesterday, have hit the third most deaths in the world in such a small country, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's sad.
Really sad. It's really sad times. But everyone that I know is well. I haven't come across too many people with COVID-19, which is lucky. The tennis situation in Ireland is, we closed about 6 weeks ago now. I think the mid-March.
Okay.
And there's positive signs. You know, our next the next stage where we find out what's going on is next week, is the 5th of May. They've said that they think that it will go on a little bit longer. But the way that I see it is that obviously tennis is a social distancing sport, and if any sports can start up, tennis really should be the first one.
Is golf happening there?
No, nothing.
Really?
At the moment, no. No, but it's good. I think Ireland in particular shut down at a good time. I think the UK shut down 3 weeks after us.
Wow.
So that could have been the cause of things. But hey, every government are doing it differently, and no one knows what the right situation is to do.
Exactly. So you created Sports Pros Connect. You and I met in person the first time at the WTCA conference, the Women's Tennis Coaching Association conference in New York. But we had been talking before that, and have had a lot of interaction over the past couple of years. Why don't you let the viewers know what it is Sports Pro Connect is about, what your goals are, and how you work?
Yeah, well, Sports Pros Connect, it came about, just to cut a long story short, my father created a business called Social Tennis, and he was an engineer, but an expat in various different countries, and he'd be always the one that started the teams, was captain of the teams. He was never a coach himself, but when he retired from engineering, he wrote a book called Revolutionize Your Social Tennis Tournaments. So he was all about getting people playing together, and playing with and against different partners, and just a new tournament format where nobody was really doing anything at the time. Anyway, he continued the business, and 4 years ago he passed away and handed over the business to me, and I took it on for 6 months, for a year, but realized that what I wanted to do, it didn't really involve social tennis, so it was the wrong name. So I decided to rebrand in May 2018 to a company called Sports Pros Connect. And the main reason I wanted to do that was, first of all, to be able to access other sports if it came to it. So I wanted to open up my horizons. That hasn't worked out. We're pretty much 95% tennis. but that's for another story. The other reason I wanted to connect coaches with academies and resorts and players as well. And the idea was to build a platform to help coaches, to build a platform to help academies get players, and also coaches for their training.
So it's kind of a dating app for coaches, academies, and players. Well, not dating. I shouldn't say that. That's bad. But a matching service.
Yeah, in a way. I mean, only in the last 6 months, 6, 7, 8 months ago, where we've actually connected coaches via jobs. Beforehand, we were more of a marketing platform to promote coaches, to be able to help them get jobs, but also help them attract new players.
So in this time of tennis's shutdown and COVID-19, how are the coaches using Sports Pros Connect to help themselves maintain income streams and get back to work as tennis is starting to reopen, at least here in the States, and I know in Germany as well?
Yeah, well, it's been pretty tough. There's no doubting it has affected my business in a huge way. I'm doing a lot of things differently now because coaches aren't moving. There's no movement between countries, so you're not getting a job. What is happening is people are registering with my platform in the hope that they can get something pretty quickly after the borders open again. Mm-hmm. But they're using the platform to promote themselves, to get a job. I'm connecting with a lot of different academies, a lot of different clubs all over the world, and to try to just basically explain what my services are, and also let them know that whenever the situation and where the time is right, we do have coaches that are looking to move there. We've got a social media campaign, and I don't know whether you've seen it, but we are promoting one coach a day for the next 50 days.
I have seen it, yeah.
Yeah, so we're putting out what I did was I discussed with a few group owners as to whether it's okay to post, because obviously each group is different, each Facebook forum is different. So what I'm doing is I've built over the last 2-3 years, we've built a lot of coach profiles, and now what we're doing is promoting one coach per day that is actively looking for work after COVID-19. So, and
what does that promotion look like?
What we're doing, we're doing it all over social media. It's a big social media campaign. What I'm doing is writing a few words about the coach, a little bit about their history, and about what they're looking for in the future. So somebody might be looking for a summer camp. Somebody might be looking for a new career. Everyone's got a different situation. So what I'm doing is putting a little post, 4 or 5 lines, to say who they are, what they've done in the past, and what they're looking for. And then we're attaching their online profile with us, so that employers all over the world can see who they are, and they can contact them direct if they're interested in hiring them in either now or in the future. So the idea is for it to really help them get a job in the future.
So this is a platform more for coaches looking for a job rather than trying to figure out how to maintain a revenue stream right now while things are shut down. It's
a bit of both, because really you could use when you register with the platform, we build an online CV, and if you use it correctly, what you'll be doing is adding the domain to your business cards, adding it to email signatures, and it will help people to find you, and it will get more clients for you. But I would say we've turned around from being really a promotional or marketing platform now to being more of a jobs platform.
Got it. A couple of weeks ago, I had Bill Carrig on here. Bill runs a site called Great Coach, and one of the things that Bill does, and it's not tennis specific. It's, in fact, tennis is a very small part of what he does. But one of the things he's doing is, making sure that people who work with our children have the coaching education they need. And he's also working alongside Safe Sport to ensure that the coaches, that he's informing the coaches and informing the public about anyone who might have been disciplined by the Safe Sport organization. For your coaches on your platform, is there any kind of background check done or any kind of work in that area? Or do you encourage the hiring organization or business to actually perform that background information?
Well, that's a little bit of an open conversation that we're having at the moment. There has been one or two coaches that we've been tipped off about that have had some sort of issues in the past. So what I'm actually doing is, obviously I know 95% of these coaches that are registering with me, and I'll have had good phone calls and either met them in person or spoken with them a lot before they sign up, as a general rule. So the first thing that we would do is look through their CV. I think one big thing is testimonials. We really encourage testimonials from the coaches, because if they've got nobody to back up what they've done in the past, that is a no-no, and no employer is going to go down that route. Mm-hmm. At the same time, I also do encourage the employers to do a bit of extra background search on the coaches, because I don't have the time in the day to get everything done for every coach. So I would leave that side of things up to them, but I would have in my mind what the coach's ability is after speaking to them a few times, seeing videos, seeing testimonials, and obviously if testimonials are from big players, that's I'd like to verify them, but it's also a good sign, of course.
Sure. And I mean, just so people know, we have a link on the sidebar at parentingaces.com to the Safe Sport banned coaches list, where you can just click and you can type a coach's name in and it'll tell you if they're on the list or not. I think it's limited to the US, however. I'm not sure if it expands outside the US. And I know, obviously, your platform is international.
Yeah, our platform's international. We do have a lot of US coaches on the platform, but that's really useful to know. And I need to do a bit of research into that myself, and I'll have a look after we've spoken.
Good.
That's great. Yeah.
So one of the things that you've recently launched, in addition to the coaching platforms, is you now have player profiles on your site. Let's talk a little bit about that, what it's all about, what you're hoping to achieve with that.
Yeah, of course. This all came up at the end of last year, and there was a lot of talk about how the professional players with anything from 150 downwards really do struggle to make it on tour. They struggle with their coaching. They struggle with their traveling. You're talking about a financial struggle. Yeah, financial struggle.
Yeah.
The main thing. So what we were thinking up, and it's a brainchild through a good friend of mine, Noel Walsh, and we came up with a situation where we spoke to several players. We got several players on a little bit of a WhatsApp group all together, just having ideas, and we came up with coach profiles with the intention of helping them twofold, really. The first,
the player profiles, you mean?
Yeah, the player profiles.
Yeah. Okay.
What did I?
You said coach. It's okay.
Player profiles. So we came up with the idea that we wanted to try to help them find some sort of sponsorship or investors. And the second one, we wanted to be able to provide a profile which would help international players gain scholarships at US colleges. So it's really twofold. So a lot of our players, they're generally aged between 12 and 21.
Okay.
They would be players that are looking to raise funds to go to travel on tour in Tennis Europe or ITF events, or ones that are actively looking for college in the next couple of years. So we've set up Facebook groups for that. It's called the Tennis Player Profile Facebook group. And Noel also has tennisinvestor.com, which is like a crowdfunding platform. And we're looking to help players get on board, first of all. We'll promote the players through, like we do with the coaches. We'll promote them over our social media network. And in the first few weeks, we attracted interest from various different investors looking for players from all over the world. Now, COVID-19 has now got in the way, and that's kind of stopped a lot of these people. Yeah. But the idea is the same, and it won't necessarily be sponsorship financially. It might be a shoe sponsor, or it might be a racket sponsor, but anything that really will help the players in the future, just make it easier for them.
I love that. And when you first came to me with that idea, we had a long phone call. It's probably been 8-10 months ago, but one of the things we talked about is how here in the US, we have a platform called tennisrecruiting.net that helps players that are looking to get recruited to play college tennis. But internationally, there's not something like that. And so for international players looking to come to the US and play college tennis, your platform now gives them visibility to the coaches and gives them a way to get their name out. How are you kind of integrating that with the college coaches here in the US and raising awareness that this platform exists and that these players are looking to come here and play?
Yeah, I mean, what I would say is that it's early stages. We only launched in January. So not a lot of what we aim to do has happened just yet. But we aim to get talking with the ITA. We aim to get talking to people that are in the college coaching profession. I've managed to get a list just from various different contacts of a lot of the college coaches, and we're just waiting for the right time to really warrant us giving them information. We need to have enough players on our platform first for it to be worthwhile, but we're waiting for the right time, and it's not necessarily the right time for it yet. Most of the players that we have on the platform are looking for sponsorship or investors and looking to go on tour rather than the college. But the college is definitely there. I had various people reach out to me, and we've built what's called a tennis player profile group. There's a lot of college coaches on there. They from time to time come to us and say, look, we're looking for a female player to come in very quickly, late notice. We're looking for them to be international, whatever. So we will be able to put a shout out to those, and then anybody that's in the group, they can put their names forward for it.
Sure. And I mean, things are so up in the air with college right now. Schools are not sure if they're even going to open their campuses in the fall. We have no idea what tennis is going to look like moving forward, especially if the fall football season doesn't happen here. And, there's just so much uncertainty right now. But I think it's really awesome that you have this platform for the players to get their names out, not just from a college perspective, but also, as you said, the ones that want to play professionally, to try and find some sponsorships so that once tennis does open back up and tournaments are back on the calendar, that these players can afford to get out there and play. It's been a tricky time for our sport. We've had players like Dominique Thiem come out and say, I'm not taking money from my pocket to go support these, professionals, as he calls them. He's been pretty harsh in his statements about what he's willing to do.
Yeah, it's been tough, hasn't it? It's I know that I think what they were looking to do is make it a voluntary payment.
Yes.
And there's a lot of things that are going on. There's a player council looking at being set up as well. So yeah, there's a lot of things happening. No one really knows the direction that we're going to go. Like you say, tennis is going to be very different. I think that tennis has the opportunity to really come out positively out of this.
Yeah.
As long as they keep doing the right things. Tennis should be the first thing that comes back. First sport, first recreational activity. And any sport that doesn't really involve a team, I think that those are the ones that should be the first in my view, to come back. And the ITF, Tennis Europe, ATP, WTA, they've got a really big chance of doing something, and they just need to come together and do the right things for all of us. But it's kind of, although it's a very, very sad time with COVID-19 going on, a lot of people losing lives, it's also, there are also positives that have come out of it. The positives that there's not so much traffic on the roads. It's going to be a different world. There's no doubt about it. When everything gets back to what we call normal, there's going to be a lot of changes, but it's just interesting to see how we're going to come out of it.
Absolutely. Are you hearing a reopen date for tennis in Ireland?
No, we haven't got anything yet.
Okay.
So our next review date is the 5th, which I believe is Tuesday.
Next week. Yeah.
There's been early signs that have said that they are going to keep everything the same for the next 2 or 3 weeks after that. So there's no date come back. I know that there seems to be a few people coming back every now and then in the States at the moment.
Yes.
How is it over there in general?
Well, it's interesting because I don't know who to credit with this, because I didn't pay close enough attention, unfortunately, but someone has created a Google document where clubs and facilities around the US and around the world, I guess, if they want to utilize it, can go in. It's a organic kind of ever-changing spreadsheet where you can put your facility name in and what you are currently doing in terms of tennis, whether you're open or closed, whether you're offering private lessons, group lessons, league play, etc. And then there's like a notes area where you can add in if you have like a pro shop or a grill or something that's reopened. And so it's been interesting to check in on that spreadsheet every day. And for those of you who are interested in taking a look at it, we did post it on the Parenting Aces Facebook page. So you can scroll down and find that link. And if I can find the direct link, I'll type it into a comment on this live stream so you can find it easily. But it's been interesting to watch. So like I said, Georgia, where my home base is, opened the state up last Friday, opened it up to gyms and some recreational facilities on Monday this week. And I do know several facilities that never closed their tennis courts at all, and several coaches who continued to be out teaching throughout the stay-at-home order. So there's that side, but then also several clubs have begun to reopen in a variety of ways, whether it's just having 2 or 3 people on a court, whether it's for singles only. I do know there are some that have opened for everything, doubles, singles, group lessons. They are specifying the measures they're taking to make sure that the players are safe and the coaches are safe and that the facilities stay sanitary. But there has to be a level of trust there, right? If you're choosing to go play, you have to have trust that the facility is taking the appropriate measures to ensure your safety. So for me personally, I'm not there yet. I'm not ready to go back out. Interestingly, the club I belong to here in Southern California sent a survey out day before yesterday. Days are all melding together, but I did fill out the survey, and they were asking questions about, what your comfort level would be if the club begins to reopen. What do you need to see at the club in order to feel comfortable coming? So,
That's a really good idea,
I thought it was
opinions.
Yeah, because the club here has continued to pay its staff through the shutdown. So the staff has been getting their income. They have been showing up at the club in staggered shifts to ensure that things stay clean, throughout the shutdown. But, obviously there are additional costs involved if the club is fully open to members again. And the club has a pool, which I don't think will open anytime soon. Sadly, the club's fitness facility burned down in a fire last summer, so that's been under construction since I got here, and it's not done yet. So I think, they've kind of adjusted for fitness workouts and things like that and held them in different areas of the club. I don't think those will start back up yet. I don't know. But it'll be interesting. So I'm just reading, we just got a comment in from Elliot saying, if we don't have fans, live spectators in the stands, we can't go forward. The clubs I represent are only allowed singles play, no clinics or doubles. Our parks are open currently and the public courts are completely full. I tried myself to utilize one for some high performance players. Our general manager is waiting to hear the directions from local and state officials. Elliot, where are you? Where are you? If you could type that in the comments. I'm curious to know where that's happening. But it's everybody's doing things differently. I just read this morning, California is getting ready to shut all the beaches again. So because people are, Elliot's in Florida. In South Florida, where things have reopened, Elliot. Let's see if South Florida. Yeah. So interesting. I mean, it's, every place is struggling with their own rules, their own demographics. And Elliot's specifying he's down in Boca, which those of you who play junior tennis tournaments here in the U.S., Boca is a big destination. It's where many of the age groups of our big national clay court tournament are held. And yeah, so I mean, he brings out some great points. I think it's going to be really tricky from a financial perspective to get our sport back up and running. And I've been encouraging all along for families who have a coach that they are loyal to continue to support that coach in some way, shape, or form. But also the coaches have to provide value and a reason for the families to continue to support them. And so, it's been tricky. Mark, what are you hearing from the coaches on your platform about what they're doing to earn money during this time?
Well, the big thing is doing Zoom lessons. Whoever created Zoom must be absolutely killing it for this time. There's lots of Zoom lessons. There's lots of, just looking on social media. There's lots of trick shots. There's the Federer volleys, and I think it's great how the whole world is coming together like that. I saw the Florida USTA team. They're putting together the hit the ball, and I saw a video that Mike Bohr put on that today. And it's just good, the things that people are doing and anything that you can do. I mean, I'm playing a lot of tennis in the back garden with my 6-year-old. Just trying to help him through. We're doing anything that we can, and I think that if you really are stuck in your house, it's driving you to insanity. So
yeah,
thank God we had good weather for the last month. I tell you, we've had amazing weather in Ireland. Not that we're used to that at all. But yeah, as long as people are staying fit and healthy, hopefully we'll look on a better side and come out of it well.
Yeah. I mean, my main concern for the coaches is that they are in a position where once things open back up, that they have the means to get back out there and run their business. And, we need our coaches. We need our coaches to stay financially secure enough to be able to stick with tennis. And, that's been a real worry of mine. And I'm friends with a lot of coaches around the country, around the world. And, it's a scary time. And I mean, I've had coaches say to me, I'm 2 weeks from being kicked out of my house and not being able to feed my family. So,
no, it's a really scary time. Absolutely. It's scary for everyone. I think the people that are going to come out of it the best are the ones that are trying to do something actively, trying to move forward, preparing for when they do come back. I think that's key. I think you can really make a positive dent in things by preparing, by online courses. Just the ITF made a whole load of courses for free.
Yep.
So just bettering yourself at the same time, and making yourself a better coach without being physically on court.
Right.
And I think there's a lot of people that are doing that, and I hope that the industry is going to come out on top, and these pros are really going to benefit from actually this time off.
I hope so. And, I hope they are taking advantage of these online resources to, as you said, get to be better coaches during this time. I think that's awesome. But also the resources available to help them generate some revenue during this time. And all of that is stuff that they can then add to their profile on Sports Pros Connect, right? It makes them more marketable once, things are back open and they're looking for jobs. And I think it'll be interesting to see how tennis employers look to these coaches to see what have they been doing over this time of shutdown. Is that going to make them a more attractive candidate to a facility that sees that here's somebody who has been proactive during this time of shutdown and really taken the time to get better at what they do, so that they add value to my facility if I want to hire them.
Yeah, I think that's a really strong point. I think that they will start looking at people that have done something. Part of what our profiles consist of is social media links. And when you're employing a coach these days, it's imperative that these coaches do have a social media presence, and they're active on it, and they've been doing things, and they've been doing things positive. I do see so many negative comments come out, and that looks so badly upon by an employer, and I really am frustrated when you see really negative points. You can make it a point and disagree with somebody, and that's absolutely fine. But when you're making really direct and crude remarks about somebody, that is not right, and that is tough to have, and that will be seen by potential recruiters in the future.
Well, and I suspect the same thing goes for the player profiles. If a player is using this time to train and get better as a player, potential sponsors and potential college coaches are looking at that as well. And that's also something that can be included on their profile with you, right? Links to their YouTube channel. If they've developed a social media following, obviously a sponsor is going to look very favorably on that. And, the more
their brand as well. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
So, let's encourage the coaches and the players out there to continue working until they can get back out on the court. Do stuff at home, put it out there, work on your brand, work on your own education and your fitness and your abilities while you have this opportunity to really delve into some things that maybe you didn't have time to do when you were training full time. This is a great opportunity for everybody if we take advantage of it. At the same time, again, I want to reiterate that the families who have junior players, who have coaches that they feel loyal to, please try to find some way to continue to support those coaches if you are financially able to do so, and make sure that they're there for your family when we're on the other side of all this crazy stuff.
Absolutely. I think that's another key point you make, Lisa, because at the end of the day, certainly around Europe, most coaches are self-employed. So they're not making any income whatsoever at the moment. So if you can stay loyal to the coach and just even paying for 5 or 6 lessons in advance, that would help these coaches in a huge way. So if, like you say, if you are financially able, then yeah, please support your coaches, because the coaches that we're talking about really don't want to have to change their career. They love what they do, and it may well come to the point where if they aren't being helped out, then they might have to change a career.
Right. Well, Mark, can you just let our viewers know how to reach you and how to find Sports Pros Connect? Yeah,
absolutely. So our website is sportsprosconnect.com. I'm on social media. My name is Mark Wylam. I've got 2 Facebook profiles, actually, Mark Wylam Tennis and Mark SPC Wylam. And I'm all over LinkedIn as well. And just look up the site, have a look. What you'll find is that there is jobs there. There's jobs, and at the moment, certainly, they're looking towards Asia. And in Asia, in China, in Hong Kong, it's looking towards that it's the next place to go, which is amazing. Yeah. But they seem to be the ones that are up and running at the moment, or getting back together. Although they're not, maybe they haven't opened their borders yet, they're still out there now, and they're back on court. So when the borders do open, they will be the first ones that are looking to be employed.
And just to clarify, to create a profile on Sports Pros Connect, there is a fee involved with that?
Yeah, there's an annual fee involved. As part of what we're doing, we also are splitting the payment on 2 different accounts. So you could either pay an annual fee of €110, which is about $120, or you can pay half now and then half in 6 months' time.
And that's the same fee for the coaches and the player profiles?
The player profiles are actually slightly less. The player profiles are €70 at the moment.
Okay.
They're due to be going back up to 110 after this pandemic is over.
Gotcha. Okay, so it's a good time to sign up. It's discounted right now. All right. Well, Mark Wylam, thank you so much for doing this. And it's dinner time for you, so I'm going to let you get back to your family. But we're just starting our day here in Southern California. Hopefully, I'm looking out my window. It's been really weird. We've had this marine layer for the last few days, and it's been kind of gray and gloomy. So hopefully that's going to burn off, and we're going to have some sunshine later today.
Absolutely, Lisa. Thank you very much for having me on the show. It's been great fun, and I really appreciate it.
Stay well.
Stay well. Stay safe, and let's get back on court quickly.
Absolutely. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Cheers for now.